AC Sonic, the heart of your system.
Hello, Briony here from Kit Guru, and if you're someone that's into mobile gaming, or maybe you have an ASUS ROG phone and you want to get some matching headphones, then I have the perfect review for you. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the ASUS ROG Cetra or Cetra headphones. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. They're these little things on the desk in front of me here, and these are active noise cancelling USB-C in-ear headphones. They do come with a pretty high retail price. You're looking at around £120 here in the UK, so they certainly don't come cheap, but are they worth that kind of high-end price tag? I'll start off by showing you guys the packaging, because as it is coming up to Christmas, you might be looking at things to give away as presents and things, and I think presenting a gift in a nicely designed and high quality package does make a really nice kind of first impression, and I think ROG have done a good job here. It's their typical black and red coloration, so you can just distinguish it from the rest of their products. You've got a picture of the headphones on the front of the box, you've got some more information about the different features and things on the back, and the box itself I think is really nicely designed. You've got a cute little bit of ribbon up the top here, and it opens on a magnetic clasp as well, so you haven't got a sort of box that you have to rip open. It's something that you can keep the extra accessories and things in and keep them safe and somewhere that you know where they're going to be if you need to get to them and change anything. Opening up inside, you do get some literature with the headphones. I must admit though, I was a little bit disappointed with this. It's a quick start guide and it doesn't really give you any proper information, I would say. I would like a little bit more detail about the different features and things, a little bit more information that tells you how to get a good fit with the headphones, because they do have a slightly kind of sporty design where they hold into your ear. I'd like a little bit more information on things like that, but it does give you kind of what you get in the box and stuff. I just wish it was a little bit more in depth. Taking that off, you can see that you get a little foam nest. This feels quite nice and firm, and it holds the headphones in place so they get to you nice and safely and sort of presents them well when you open the box. And inside you have got the other accessories as well. So this big hole here is where the carry case goes. So you get this kind of pleather carry case. It has a nice little zip on it, and you open it inside and you've got a little mesh pouch to put the various accessories. That one in there is the cable clip, so you can clip it onto your shirt collar. You've also got a couple of extra fins, so 2 pairs of different size fins, and also you've got 2 pairs of silicone ear tips and foam tips as well, so you can change between the different fit of the headphones. My overall first impressions of these headphones was really quite good. I do like the way that they look. They have this smart black and grey design. They do look a little bit sporty and a little bit aggressive. And when you plug them into a USB-C port, the ROG Eye logo on the back of each headphone lights up a really nice bright red. This lighting cannot be customized. It's not like your RGB lighting. You can't change the color of it or the brightness or anything. However, I do think it helps to make them stand out. When it came to setting them up, I found it easy to interchange the different parts. You can take off and change the size of the tips, and you can also take off and change the size of the fins as well, and it's very quick and simple to do, so I could set them up to my preferences. The headphones themselves, each earbud I did think was quite large. They are definitely larger than the headphones that I'm used to using. I do normally use in-ear headphones, so the back of them, when you're wearing them, they do look quite conspicuous, particularly with that bright red lighting as well, so they do kind of make a bit of a fashion statement if you're into that, or maybe they just kind of warn the people around you, I'm listening to music or I'm gaming and I really don't want to talk to you. Despite their larger size, they are actually quite lightweight because they are made of plastic. They have a fully plastic construction. They do feel quite sturdy though, like when you squeeze them and pinch them, they feel like they're not going to kind of creak or crack or anything. However, for headphones at this price point, I would maybe expect the overall finish to just be that little bit more premium. I'm not really a huge fan of the cable because it is coated in like a black plastic. I personally prefer headphones that have like a nice nylon braid or something to them. I think that they maybe don't tangle as easy, and they also look a little bit nicer as well. I'm also not a huge fan of the microphone and the inline controls. I think they're a bit ugly and they just feel like a bit kind of net as well. They're made of a plastic material. The inline controls are really quite bulky, and they've got like a kind of textured finish to them, but I just in general don't really like them that much, and I do think they could definitely work a little bit on those and help to make them feel a little bit more like a £120 pair of headphones. However, there are some things I like about the build quality. The little fins, they click on really nicely and they feel really solid and into place. They're made of a nice kind of rubbery material that has this soft touch matte coating, and the ear tips as well, they also feel a little bit better than what I've found on cheaper headsets. They feel like a little bit thicker, like they're not going to tear or anything too easily. Also, I do quite like the way the USB-C connector is finished. It feels quite high quality. It is coated in that same sort of soft touch matte coating, and to me it feels like that's going to last. So in general, I don't particularly feel like they are the same build quality as I would expect from headphones at this price point. However, ASUS do back them up with a 2-year warranty, so they must have pretty decent faith in their construction and that they are going to last at least 2 years. When it comes to using these headphones, as expected, you can plug them into pretty much anything that has a USB-C port. However, I found my best experience to be on a laptop, or of course a desktop if your PC has a USB-C port. When it comes to using them on my phone, I actually came across an issue. So I have a Samsung S9 Plus, and even though they work perfectly fine for audio, they will not work with my phone calls. You can't use them as a hands-free headset. That is something to do with my phone and not actually an ASUS issue. I did some Googling and it turns out it's just an S9 Plus thing. So one thing I would say is just to be aware that if you're going to be using these with your mobile phone and you are expecting to be able to make phone calls on them, just check with what particular phone model you've got, whether it is compatible with these particular headphones. So when it comes to using it on a laptop, the reason I like it is because you have access to the software. So these headphones work with the ROG Armoury software, which also works with like their motherboards. It works with like graphics cards, everything like that. You can change those different settings and things. There are other peripherals, etc. And when you open it up, you get faced with a lot of different audio settings, and you also have options to change the virtual surround sound as well. They do actually have virtual surround sound, and you can change the microphone settings and things like that as well. There's loads of different options on there. You can create and save your own profiles, and there are also some default profiles as well. There's actually loads to choose between. You can change the equalizer settings, all of that stuff, so it's quite nice to have that little bit of extra customization, but of course you only get that if you're going to be using them on a PC. The software itself I found easy to use. It's nice and quick to pick up because it's quite intuitive. Everything's there, everything's labelled, and you can get to work using it. You don't have to spend too much time learning it. The only slight bug I had with the software though is that I found sometimes the sliders or the profiles wouldn't actually change the sound of the headphones. It just kind of stopped doing anything. Even the profiles were changing on the software. For some reason the audio wasn't changing on the headphones. It's quite a quick easy fix though. You just have to unplug them and plug them back in again, and then it seems to work perfectly fine. When it comes to wearing these headphones and the overall comfort of the Cetra, I must say I was pretty impressed. It starts off well because you have plenty of options to choose between which different size you might need for your ears. You can interchange those earbuds and interchange the fins, and it's very quick and easy to do, and you can get them set up to your kind of specifications within a couple of minutes. I was a little bit disappointed though because the silicone tips come in a range of sizes, but you only get one set of foam tips, and I found that they were too big for my ears. I do have quite small ears and small ear holes as well, so they didn't actually fit in my ear, and I found that pretty annoying because I did want to try out the foam tip because I think they'll definitely work better with the noise cancelling feature. When it comes to kind of putting them in my ear, I found them very easy to position. It does take a couple more seconds than typical earbuds, but once you get them kind of sat in that sweet spot, they sit there comfortably for hours and you don't really notice them. They also hold in place really well because of those little ear fins as well. The cable I found to be a good length. It doesn't really tangle, even though it is a plastic cable. I actually found it doesn't really tangle, and of course you do have the carry case as well, so that's going to help them stop kind of getting all tangled up and dirty in your bag and things. I also found the inline controls, I don't like how big and bulky they are, but I must admit that it makes them much easier to find when you're not looking at them. And I also found myself, it was very easy to distinguish between the different buttons as well. You don't really have to look down, you can just press those and it'll do what you want it to. And also the volume controls, they work on my phone and they also work on the PC as well. So if you adjust the volume, it'll adjust the volume in Windows, which I think is quite nice. When I first received these headphones for review and I was taking a look over the box to see what features and things they had, the main one that stood out to me was the active noise cancelling. I've never owned a pair of ANC headphones. I've kind of tried them out for a few seconds or so, but I've never actually had my own to use over a number of weeks and try out in different environments and things to get a real feel for them. So these being my first pair, I was kind of expecting a really dramatic difference. You turn the active noise cancelling on by pressing the little button on the side of the inline controls. You've got a little LED, and when that's activated it shows that the lights, the noise cancelling is turned on. When you press the button again, that activates the ambient mode, and what that does is that it basically decreases your music or the sounds that you're listening to in your headphones and increases the noise happening around you. So if you're going to be crossing the street or if you're talking to someone, that is quite a nice kind of feature to have, and it also makes them a little bit safer as well. And then pressing the button again will turn the LED off, and the noise cancelling will also turn off as well. One thing I did find though is that even though I was kind of expecting this to be a real dramatic difference, it didn't really seem to do much. There was a noticeable difference, as in like I could tell that it was doing something. It just wasn't as dramatic as I was hoping. For example, one of the scenarios I used the headphones in was when I was on the train, and you normally have lots of people talking around you. You also get the kind of the hum and the vibration from the train itself. And I did find that they took out some of that background noise, particularly the kind of low drone of the train. However, people talking, people shouting and screaming, or children screaming or whatever, I could still hear that. I think when it comes to the noise cancelling in these headphones, most of it kind of comes from the fact that you're wearing in-ear earbuds. They take out quite a lot of noise anyway from just having something in your ears. The active noise cancelling for me didn't seem to do much. It was something that I was really excited about, but it's not that dramatic as I was expecting on these headphones. The Cetra are a pair of gaming headphones, and when it comes to the audio, I think you can definitely tell that they are much more suited to a gaming environment. The overall audio profile just sounds kind of flat, but this does make them quite clear and crisp, and there isn't really much bass either. However, when you're playing a game like an FPS shooter and you're trying to listen for footsteps and different audio cues and things, that's definitely what you want, and I found myself being able to pick out that sort of thing easily. However, when it comes to listening to music, I was straight in the software playing around with the equalizer, trying to get an overall better music listening experience. These definitely aren't going to be a pair of headphones for audiophiles. However, if you are a gamer, I don't think you're really going to have a problem with these, and they do sound pretty good for kind of communication purposes as well. You can hear voices in them quite clearly. In general though, I would say I haven't really got much experience with in-ear headphones. My experience with in-ear headphones is kind of like Apple AirPods, Samsung AKG, and also like Aorus gaming headphones as well. They're more kind of like at the budget end of the spectrum. So these are definitely the kind of most expensive pair that I've tried for a long period of time, and they do definitely sound the best out of the in-ear headphones that I've tried. I'm much more used to trying out gaming headsets, and these do sound pretty good. However, they are like twice as expensive as other in-ear headphones I've tried, and I wouldn't say they are as twice as good. The microphone on the ROG Cetra is where I think these pair of headphones really excel. The microphone is actually an inline microphone, and these normally sound pretty trash. However, I think it sounds nice and full and natural, and it also comes through at a good volume as well. So I think your teammates are going to have no problem hearing you and understanding you when you're gaming, or also if you're going to be using them to make a phone call, I don't think you're going to have any problems there either. I think they actually sound a lot better than kind of the headsets, like gaming headsets. I've heard microphones that sound worse than this microphone, and in general I do think it's actually pretty good. It also has some settings as well. If you go into the ROG Armory software, there is options for the noise gate feature, which is meant to kind of reduce and take out unwanted background noise. You've also got the perfect voice feature, which is meant to once again reduce background noise, and you also have the voice clarity feature as well, which is meant to detect and kind of boost and kind of increase the clarity and things of your voice. These kind of different features, I found they do have some effect. However, I didn't really notice any of the noise cancelling, because when you type on a keyboard, like particularly a mechanical keyboard, you can still definitely hear that in the background. However, they must be doing something right, because I do really like how this microphone sounds. So overall, what do I think of the ASUS ROG Cetra gaming headphones? With these headphones, I would say that I really like them and I will definitely continue using them. However, do I think they are worth the £120 price tag? No. Unfortunately, I think you are definitely paying for the ROG branding here, and even though they have their pros, such as they're really comfortable to wear, the microphone sounds really good, and they also have some really nice sleek software that provides plenty of options, they do have their cons as well. For me, I don't particularly like the cable. I really wish that it used like a nylon cable instead. I think the inline controls are a bit bulky and things. I also wish they used something other than plastic in their construction, and also I think the audio could be better as well, and for me that active noise cancelling doesn't really do that much either. If you like this video and Kit Guru, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of these pair of headphones. Do you already have them yourself and you really quite like them, or are you looking to get them in the future? Please make sure to leave a comment below. Also, please remember to hit that little bell icon as well and you'll get a notification every time a new video goes live, and please make sure to subscribe as well.